Hello everyone. Good morning. Today we're going to tackle the lesson 7, which is instructional planning model for teaching English. But before that, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Bailin Sampayan Maulana and I am the reporter of the lesson 7. The content that we are going to tackle this morning is the ADDIE models, CAMP design model, and ARC model. Instructional planning model. Instructional planning model help define the elements and activities that would guide the development of instruction. The following models are just some of the models that could provide the major components in instructional planning. Meaning to say, in the instructional planning models, these are the frameworks or structures that provide guidance and direction for designing and developing effective instruction. So, these models help instructional designers and educators identify and organize the essential elements and activities necessarily to create meaningful and engaging a learning experience for the students. Now, let's proceed to the components of instructional planning models. The first one is the ADDIE model, wherein it consists of 5. The ADDIE model consists of 5 components, that is the analysis, design, development, implementation, and evaluation. The first of the component is analysis. Analysis is step where the instructional goals and objectives are established. The learning environment is also determined and the learner's existing skills and knowledge are identified. The teacher analyzes the context of the learning environment in order to identify these factors. Meaning to say, in analysis, in this step is like laying the foundation for building. It is where we gather all information and make decisions about what we want to achieve and how we're going to do it. First, in analysis, we establish the instructional goals and objectives. This means we define what we want the learners to be able to do or understand by the end of the instruction. For instance, if we do the lesson plan, no, in that lesson plan, there is objectives like at the end of the lesson, the students can, no, that's it. Next is we determine the learning environment. This means it involves the considering the factors such as the physical settings, resources, and technology that will be utilized no or used for instruction. Dito na papasok si subject matter. For instance, the instructional materials, si duration, and etc. In analysis also, we also identify the learner's existing skills and knowledge. This step help us to understand where the learners are starting from and what they already know or can do. For instance, yung prerequisite knowledge and skills ni pupils. No? Next is design. The, the design phase deals with creating an outline of the instruction. This is where the learner objectives, learning content, strategies to be used, activities, materials, assessment, and other media needed are put in place. This means, the design phase is logical and sequential. It should consider how the lesson will be delivered to the learners. Meaning to say, in design phase, in instructional design, it's like you are creating a roadmap for the instruction. First, in design, is we define the learning objectives. These are the specific outcomes we want the learners to we want the learners to achieve, no, by the end of the instruction. For instance, at the end of the lesson, the pupils can explain mental and emotional health. No, that is the first. We define the learning objectives. Next is we determine the learning content. No, meaning to say you are going to choose a topic that is appropriate, no, to your learners. Then we decided, no, on the strategies to be used, no. These are the methods, no, and approaches where we employ to facilitate learning. So this could include the techniques, your techniques as a teacher during your discussion. Next on the strategies is we plan for the activities and materials. We do activities, no, to engage the students and reinforce the learning objectives and provide the materials to support the activity. Next on that is the assessment methods. These are the ways will evaluate the learnings, understanding, and progress. It involves here the quizzes, the practical exam, and etc. And also the other media that put in place. So this design pace is logical and sequential. No, it should consider how the lesson will be um, delivered to the learners. Next is we have development. The development phase is where activities, materials, media, and other content necessary to deliver the instruction based on the design phase are put together. Here, the teacher need to take into consideration, no, the methods of delivery determined by the design phase. So meaning to say in development, teachers gather and create all the things they need to teach in their lesson. This includes things like yung activities, yung materials, and other media like videos or presentation, no? They use this to deliver the instruction to the learners. So in this space, no, the teachers follow the plans they made during the design phase. Kumbaga, they will think about the best way to teach or disseminating the information and how to make it more interesting, no, and engaging for the students. In this place, the teachers may utilize various methods such as lectures, group works, or hands-on activities like hands-on activities depending on what was the teacher's designing during the design phase. Next is implementation. During the implementation phase, the instruction is given to the learners and the teacher should take some time to observe how the learners react, no, to instruction provided to them. Furthermore, the teachers would also need to ensure that all equipment and materials necessary to deliver the lesson are all complete and working like computers, storage devices, internet connection, or other or number of copies of materials. So in this space in implementation, no, the teachers actually teaches the lesson to the students. At this stage, the teacher needs to make sure that everything necessary for the lesson is in place and working properly. This is also include the equipments, no, na gagamitin like computers, storage devices, and internet connection kung kinakailangan. So that is the implementation. So the main focus of this implementation phase is the delivery, delivering the instruction of the teacher to their students and making sure that they understand and engage with the lesson that you are going to teach to your students. Next on the implementation is the evaluation, no? Evaluation. In evaluation phase naman, the teachers reviews the learners' scores and notes they took during the implementation phase, no? This is done to assess how well the students have understood the lesson and to gather feedback on the teaching method used or utilized, no? In evaluation, the teacher analyzes the results to see if the students have achieved the learning objectives. So that is the evaluation. Okay, always remember the ADDIE model consists of 5, no, which is analysis, design, development, implementation, and evaluation. Next, let's move forward to the next model, which is the camp model design. Camp model design, no, also known as the Morrison, Ross, and Camp model, follows a circular structure and its elements should be taken as independent elements. No. So meaning to say, the Kemp model known as Morrison, Ross, and Kemp model. So this is circular design process that help teachers plan and develop the effective instruction. It consists of different elements that are considered independently, such as instructional planning. No, the Kemp model design consists of 9. The first one is instructional planning and problems, learner characteristics, task analysis, instructional objectives, content consequencing, instructional strategies, designing the message, instructional delivery, and evaluation instrument. Let's start with the first, which is instructional problem. Instructional problem determine the specific goals and identify the instructional issues that could arise. Mean to say, in this instructional problem, it is important to determine the specific goals and identify the potentials issue that may arise during the teaching and learning process. No, for instance, if you're if you're going if your goal to your students is to improve their writing skills, then the instructional issue might be some students have difficulty organizing their thoughts or struggle with grammar and spelling. So yun yung magiging instructional issue mo. In this case, the teachers may need to improve explicit instruction on the writing process, offer strategies for organizing ideas, or provide targeted practices and feedback on the grammar and the spelling of the students. Next one is learner characteristic. Identify the traits and characteristics of learners that should be taken into consideration in the planning process. Meaning to say, sorry, learners characteristic is when planning instruction, it is important to consider the traits and characteristic of the learners. Teachers should think about the different aspects of their students that may influence their learning experience, such as their first is the prior knowledge, learning style, motivation, because students have different level of motivation and interest. not just motivation and interest, even the cultural background, no, and special needs. Because some students may have specific learning needs or disabilities that required accommodations or modification. No, that is learner characteristic. Next is we have task analysis. No, in task analysis, make course content clear and analyze the proposed task component in relation to the goals and purpose of the course. In task analysis naman, the goal of task analysis is to make the course content clear and understand how the proposed task related to the goal and purpose of the course. Okay. So in task analysis, to make it simple, no, the task analysis, it involves examining the task that given by the teachers, no, and the students need to complete in the course and make sure that the task is aligned, no. Make sure na yung task na binigay mo sa isang estudyante, it should align on the objectives of the course, no. Kumbaga, hindi siya malayo. There is a connected. If you're giving a task, no, if you're giving a task to if you're giving a task to your students, the task that you are going to give should align, no, should align to the objectives of the course or of the subject. Next is the instructional objectives, no. In instructional objectives, define the instructional objectives and desired learning outcomes. In instructional objectives are the statements that it describe what students should able to do or know. No, it is also defined as desired learning outcomes. Why? It because this is what the teachers aim to achieve. That's why yung instructional objective is defined as desired learning objective. It because ito yung gustong i-achieve ni teacher. That what the teachers want to aim to achieve, no? Kaya nasabi na learning outcomes. To make this simple, no, the instructional objectives specify what students will learn or will be able to do by the end of the lesson. Next is we have content sequencing, no? Ensure the instructional content are structured sequentially and logically. Meaning to say, ang content sequencing, to understand better the content sequencing, let's have an example. When teaching about the parts of the body, no, it is important to start with the foundational, no, and more recognizable part before moving onto the more specific or complex one. See, teacher might begin by introducing the major external parts of the body, such as the head, the arms, the legs, and etc. These are generally easier, no, for the learners to identify and understand. Now, once na si learners have a good grasp of the basic external part, no, kumbaga naintindihan na niya, the teacher can move on to the more complex part, such as the different facial features like yung eyes, nose, mouth, or even the different region of the arms like yung upper arm natin, the forearm, the thigh, and the calf. So, this is the sequential structure. Kumbaga, magsisimula ka muna sa pinaka-basic bago ka mag-move forward sa pinaka-complex. That is sequential structure. Next naman is yung logical. Logical structure, it involves organizing the parts of the body in a way that makes sense, no, and follow the logical progression. For instance, si teacher group the parts of the body that related together, no, such as the head and its various features like yung eyes, nose, mouth, and ears, or the upper and lower extremities like the arms and legs, no? Yun yung logical. Kumbaga, there is a connection, no? The teacher also consider the functional relationship, no, between the body parts. For instance, after ni teacher introduce the parts of the arm, then she might or he might explain how the bicep, no, and tricep muscles are responsible for the movement of the arm. So that is the content sequencing. Means it refers to the arrangement, no? Content sequencing, meaning to say, to make it short, it refers to the arrangement of instructional content in a logical and sequential manner. So yun yung content sequencing. Next, we have instructional strategies. Instructional strategies. Design the instructional strategies in such a way that individual learners would be able learn the content and attain the learning outcomes. Designing the message, plan the instructional message, and appropriate mode of delivery. So, in instructional strategies naman, it refers to the methods, no, and approaches used to facilitate the learnings and help individual learners achieve the desired learning outcomes, no. In designing the instructional message, it involves the planning the content to be delivered and determining the most suitable mode of delivery for the effective learning, such as yung written materials, visual aids, verbal instruction, ano pa, the demonstration, and even the hands-on activity and multimedia and online resources, no. With this, the teachers can create, no. With this, the teachers can create an engaging and effective learning experience that could help the learners achieve the desired learning outcomes. So, yun yung instructional strategies from the word strategies. Next is we have instructional delivery. In instructional delivery, develop the necessary instruments in order to effectively achieve the instructional goals and objectives, taking into considerations the materials available to the teacher. Dito naman sa instructional delivery, when it comes to instructional delivery, the teachers need to develop the tools at saka yung method that would help them effectively achieve their teaching goals and objectives, no? It involves considering the materials that they have. In instructional strategies, it involves the lesson plan, no? Teachers create lesson plan to outline, no? Outline what they'll teach and how they teach it, or it serve as their guide, no? So, in So in teaching strategies, teachers use different strategies, no, to engage students and help them to understand the subject, no. In instructional materials naman, these are the resources, no. These are the resources that support teaching and learning, no. So, assessment is, ito naman yung, assessment helps the teachers to measure the students' track progress, and also give the feedback. So, yun yung instructional delivery. So, next is we have evaluation instrument. Evaluation instrument, design and development of the appropriate formative and summative assessment to determine whether the instructional goals and objectives were attained. Okay, so in evaluation instrument, it refers to the tools, no, or methods used to assess and measure whether the goal whether yung goal at saka yung objectives have been achieved. It is also provide, no, si evaluation, it also provide a feedback, I'm sorry, it also provide a feedback on the effectiveness of the teaching and learning process. So we have two main types of evaluation instrument. The first one is yung formative. Yung formative class are used during the instructional process to gather the ongoing feedback and monitor the students' progress, no? Next one is the summative assessment. On the other hand, are these summative assessment are administered at the end of a unit, course, or instructional period to evaluate overall students' learning and determine the extent to which instructional goals and objectives have been met. So yun yung dalawang types ng evaluation, no? To main types of evaluation instrument. Next is, let's proceed to the third content of the lesson, no? Yung ARC model, no? ARC model. Tatlo kasi siya. ARC model, no? The ARC models is developed by John Keeler in the 1980s, no? The model's unique feature is that it focuses more on the motivation of the learners, ensuring that they are keep engaged during instruction. Meaning to say, yung si ARC model is developed by John Keeler, no, in the 1980s. Nakikita naman natin dito, no. So this instructional design model, it emphasize, ang kagandahan nito, it emphasize only the learner's motivation, no. This model aims to keep learners engaged throughout the instructional process, and this model consists of four main components. What are those? The four main components. No? The first one is attention. Second, relevance. Third, confidence. And fourth, satisfaction. Let's have first the attention. No? Attention. This refers to the interest of the learners. This is a crucial part of the model as it is the initial hook of the learner's attention. So, yung attention, kumbaga sa lesson plan, it is a motivation, no? Attention, this component focuses on capturing the learner's attention, piquing their interest. It involves various strategy. Papasok na naman dito si strategy to grasp, no, or I mean to grab the learner's attention right from the beginning. Kumbaga, hindi pa nagsisimula yung topic na i-introduce ni teacher is, kumbaga, mahuhook agad yung attention ng mga estudyante. It arouse their interest or piquing their interest. That is attention. Attention is a motivation. Next is we have relevance, no? Relevance. This component refers to the usefulness of the learning content to that the learners could create a connection between it and the real world, no? In relevance naman, this component is all about making sure that the things you're learning are actually useful and connected to the real world, no? Because in that way, your students can easily understand the topic, no? If the lesson that you are going to identify is it is a kumbaga useful siya, at saka you can tawag dito, you can connect it into a real world situation, mga ganon, then it is easy for your students, no, to understand the lesson that you are going to discuss. It easy for them to understood, no. or it easy for them to catch up yung lesson na itinuturo mo sa kanila kasi kung makaka-relate sila doon sa topic na i-discuss mo. That is the relevance. Next is the confidence. This component develops the expectation of success and progress among the learners. At the same time, gives the learners the opportunity to control their learning process. This is important as the learners will have a raw estimations of um, their probability of success in their conduct of instruction. So, in confidence naman, meaning to say, these components aim to build the learner's confidence, no? This is very self-explanatory naman because we all know the word confident, no? This component aims to build learners confident in their ability to succeed, no, in the instructional task, wherein it provide clear instructions, setting achievable goals, offering support and feedback to boost learners' self-consideration. No, in order for the students to build their confidence in terms of their skills is in terms of their skills to make sure that they would succeed on the instructional task that the teachers are going to give, no? Um, Make sure na you as a teacher, you also provide a clear instruction, 'di ba? One of the best thing that when you're going to give an activity to your student is to provide a clear instruction. Kasi doon nagsisimula lahat eh. If you're not going to give a clear instruction, the students is magiging pataka lang sila, no? That's why clear instruction is matter when you give a activity to your students, no? That's it. That is the confidence. Last is the satisfaction. Satisfaction as there is a direct correlation between motivation and satisfaction. The learner should have a sense of success and fulfillment after achieving their learning goals and objectives during the learning process. So, in satisfaction, meaning to say, it is all about feeling good and accomplished when you achieve your learning goals, no? It is important to have a sense of satisfaction. Why? Why? Because it helps It helps keeping the learners motivated, no? That's why that's why it is important to have a sense of satisfaction. Kasi it will give us a motivation, no? Yun yung satisfaction. Okay? So that was the last component of the ARC model. No? Always remember, class, in this topic we have 3 types of the model, no? The first model is the ADDIE model, no? Remember that these model are used for instructional design. The first model is the ADDIE model, gaya ng sabi ko. The ADDIE model focuses on the systematic, no, and step-by-step process. Kumbaga gradual yung step ng ADDIE model. Hindi ka pwedeng mag-jump sa pinakadulo kung hindi mo pa nasisimulan doon sa pinakauna. And the Kemp model emphasizes the learner-centered, no? Si Kemp model hindi siya teacher-centered, no? Unlike sa iba, it is a learner-centered, no? Yun lang yung ini-emphasize ni Kemp model. At saka and the last is si ARC model. Yung si ARC model, ang ini-emphasize naman ito is prioritize the learner's motivation and engageable, no? It provide it provide the learner's motivation and engagement. Yun yung the ARC model. Tandaan, Always remember, si ADDIE model focuses on the systematic and step-by-step process or gradual. Si KEMP model naman emphasizes the learner-centered at si ARC model prioritize the learner's motivation and engagement. And that would be all. Thank you.